It's another On This Day from the Anfield draft, and today is the one and only Andy Robertson's birthday. Craig, what were your expectations when we signed this wonderful lad from Hull for £8 million?
I think probably much like everyone else, quite low. I don't think we really knew what kind of player we were getting. I don't think we really knew the calibre of defender we were getting. And I remember the day in the office that it got announced, and it was just it was a little bit muted. It was, all right, we've signed a left back, let's see how it develops with him. I think for £8 million, it was, low risk, and that's how we were thinking. We weren't getting excited. We weren't going to town about this left back signing. But my word, that we love him now.
Oh, he's unbelievable, isn't he? Because I remember there being a lot of talk about Ben Chilwell, and that we were going to sign him. So then we get Andy Robertson for £8 million. We don't really know what he's about, other than the fact there was a bit of a word that he was decent. He didn't get in the side till Spartak Moscow. Moreno got injured. He played 2 games, I remember, and he was unbelievable. He was by far the best player on the pitch, but those 2 games weren't enough to initially get him in the side. But obviously Moreno's injury meant that he become a first 11 player and hasn't looked back since.
No, I think it was a strange one at the start of that season, because we obviously signed a left back. We'd all grown a little bit tired of Alberto Moreno, and he doesn't start the season for us, and it takes him a while, and we're wondering, well, is there something wrong? Is he not as good as what Jurgen Klopp maybe thought he was going to be? And it was about taking the time to develop him and get him used to Klopp's methods. We've seen that with a few players now, that he, rather than just throw him in, they'll give him time in the background to get used to things. And I remember he plays in the cup game against Leicester, and we see sort of hint of what he's about. And I remember watching him for the first time live against Burnley at home, and I loved how he was getting forward and how he was putting balls into the box.
I call him a Jack Russell.
Yeah. I was really excited about him, and I think we were seeing this we were seeing how good he was going forward, and with each game by game we started to see that. But one of the things that got me was he's a brilliant defender as well. I know he was brought in as a defender, but he was brilliant. And that was one of the things people were saying. He's great going forward, but maybe he lacks a little bit of concentration. I've seen none of that.
Not at all. It's what we lacked with Moreno, wasn't it? The defensive side of things. And he hasn't half done a good job since he covered Andy Robertson. He's turning 25 today, and may I remind you that he's the same age as me, and he's played in the European Cup final, and he's Scotland's captain. I
love his story. I love the story of how he was playing Scottish second division, how you see his tweets, someone gives a job, got no money, and now he's Scotland captain. Like I say, he's playing the Champions League final for Liverpool, and he's probably he is the best left back I've seen play for Liverpool.
I was just going to say, do you think he's one of the... I think he's possibly one of the best in Europe. Like, how good is he? Well, Name me a better left back.
Well, I'll ask you, how many would you swap him for? Because I don't think I would swap him for anyone, and that's because of the player that we've got, and it's also the personality. I know Klopp's massive on personalities, and he loved the backstory of Andy Robertson, how he fought to get there and so on. And even when we interviewed him in America, he was just this lovely, down-to-earth lad. He obviously has this, the stuff that he's done for the food banks, his similar values to us as fans, and he's just like, you sort of see a little bit of yourself in him, don't you?
Yeah, and I was going to say, to me, I think we look at Virgil van Dijk and go, oh, he's Liverpool captain material, but I think you can look at Andy Robertson and call him Liverpool captain material, because I think all the stuff he does with the community, the food banks, even like the little jibe he had at Everton the other day, he's becoming one of us. He's really taken the club, to his heart, and that's what we want to see from a Liverpool player. So the likes of Marcelo, Jordi Alba, still wouldn't swap him now?
I'm having none of them. No, I'm having him all day long. And like I said, it's what he's done on the pitch, but it's also off the pitch, and it's what he sort of stands for, really, as a person, as a player. And like, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, I don't see him wanting to go anywhere else. I see him looking at Liverpool Football Club and thinking, I can sketch my name in the history of this football club. And you don't see him going to a Man City, do you? You don't see him really wanting to go into a Barcelona or Real Madrid. You see him playing for Liverpool, and he looks as if he's enjoying every minute of it.
And I wonder, so where would you put him in terms of Liverpool's left backs? So I've had this conversation with my dad plenty of times, and my dad's I will reveal his age, he's 56, and he's forever said that Alan Kennedy is the best left back that he's ever seen, and no one will come close to Andy Robertson. And I remember Andy Robertson's first game, where he literally played that one time, and in that first game he went, he's the best left back I've ever seen play for Liverpool. And I was like, Dad, you can't say that off one game. The second game, he's the best left back I've ever seen play for Liverpool. And you know what, Dad, now I'll give you it, because I think he's the best left back I've ever seen play for Liverpool.
He's definitely the best one I've seen, and before that was maybe Aurelio. You know, people would argue Reece. You know, I think Andy Robertson is head and shoulders above any of those. I think, you know, it's harder for us going back because we've only seen the tapes of Kennedy and so on. But you know, if Andy Robertson achieves half as much as what he did, then we're flying. But like he might be he might be my favourite Liverpool player, and that says a lot about an £8 million left back signed from Hull, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, the big man Klopp really loves him. We love him, so happy birthday, Andy Robbo.